Hey everyone, welcome. Today I'm going to be talking about artificial intelligence, the Consumer Price Index, the CPI, and how the stock market's been moving and what stocks, particularly stocks in the QQQ, the 100 largest companies on the NASDAQ, how have the major stocks in that index been moving? Let's take a look, but first, hang on. This is not financial nor professional advice. This video is for entertainment only. Artificial intelligence has been with us for years, but it's been heating up lately and becoming almost like a fad, although that's impossible because it's something definitely needed and it will be with us for decades, if not centuries. So the major players right now, amongst the big companies, they all use artificial intelligence, but what's brought it into a fad stage currently is the war between Google and Microsoft. And Microsoft, actually in the latter part of 2022, ChatGPT was taking hold by storm. And what people liked about this and what people like about it now is that it answers in conversational English, in a conversational language. It can also be used for translation. It can write you an essay. It can write you a lecture. There's numerous things it can do. It can even correct computer code, I'm told, although that's above my pay grade. But it's almost like a human is talking back to you, which people like. And what makes it different from the current search engines is that the current search engines give you the websites that will answer your questions, and you got to kind of look and ferret it out. But Microsoft's Bing browser has added ChatGPT to its search engine, the Bing engine, and now it's going to give you a summary answer at the beginning, and then it will list the sources and the websites down below it. It's not fully online yet. At least I can't get on it now. You're added to a wait list. There's so many people wanting to use this that they have a wait list. And so you got to wait a while before you can get on it. But you can get some weird answers with it. This Chat GPT, it operates on a probability model. It's not deterministic. It's like autocomplete on the search engine, that it kind of knows your speech patterns and what word you're likely to use next. And so it'll autocomplete that. Well, this does it on a grander scale. It works with probabilities and not determined facts, you can get some weird answers sometimes. And Google is competing with Microsoft, and their version of this is called Bard, B-A-R-D. And they have been more hesitant to use it simply because Google wants their answers to be firm and very solid because they've got a reputation with their wonderful search engine, and they don't want to hurt that reputation, of course, understandably. And so they're very hesitant because it can give you wrong answers. And in a recent demonstration, it was their nightmare. It gave a wrong answer, and some astronomers pointed out the mistake. And so this is a picture of the demonstration of the Bard by Google. And the question is, what discoveries from the James Space Webb telescope can I tell my 9-year-old about? And it lists off 3 facts. And the problem was with the last fact. The mistake was that they said it took pictures of the first planet outside of our solar system, and an astronomer wrote in and said that isn't true. The first planet outside our solar system was discovered in like 2004, and so it was done years before. So, you can say this is sort of esoteric, but you're going to run into things like this with a probabilistic model, where it's more or less, it's kind of shooting from the hip a little bit. The Chat GPT, they give a warning that the facts need to be verified and checked out. But Google and Microsoft haven't done that so far. I imagine they will as they get more involved in this, because everybody says that every once in a while you will get a mistake. And it's good for general information. It's good, and it's especially good if you already know the subject area very well and you just need sort of kind of a summary or a reminder or a background check, something like that. But it's not up to the standards Google wants to have. And I think it's going to be, it's a work in progress, and this is the first time it's really started to take hold for the average consumer. And as you can see from this 1 month chart on Microsoft and Google, Microsoft is in blue and Google is in green. You can see that they were both flying along, but it was around the 6th or 7th that this whole controversy with Bing and the mistake with the demonstration and all that came into focus. And I think that's a big part of the reason why Google had a downturn. And then we have to look at that rocket ship called Tesla, that it has recovered from the dead when it was down around $100. Looking at the chart, Tesla is in blue, and the red line is the 50-day moving average. And you can see the moving average 50 days, 152, so right between 100 and 200, of course. And it was at around 350 a year ago, well, actually last April. And the question is it going to go above 300? Okay, and it certainly is capable of doing that. But I think the NASDAQ has gone up 14% so far year to date this year. And I think we're having, it's a bull run, I think, but we're due for a little bit of a pullback. So I don't think it's going to do that in the immediate future. But you never know with Tesla. Tesla is sort of its own animal, So I think it's a good stock. It's one I want to own. And it's a safe stock to own in a way, just because it's not going to go anywhere. It's going to have demand, and even in a recession, I think that they will do relatively well, although it will come down somewhat, or at least it probably won't come down as much as it will just hold steady, is my feeling about it. There's a very useful tool for predicting the CPI that's come into my awareness, and that's the Cleveland Fed does what they call Nowcast or Nowcasting. And what it is it tells you month by month and year on year what the CPI and the PCE and the core PCI and the core PCE. It gives you all these numbers on inflation, and they do it daily. And they even chart it, and you can follow the trend if you like. What I'm showing you is from February 10th. The CPI comes out on Tuesday, February 14th. So we'll have one more look the day before, February 13th. I'll be looking at this. But right now, it doesn't look good. The CPI month on month, they're expecting it to be 0.4 for both the core CPI and the headline number, the CPI itself. They expect it to change month to month by 0.4%. And right now, month to month, the CPI, and they round it to the nearest tenth, is 0.61, so they'll round it to 0.6. So that's 0.2 of a point more inflation than they expected. And then the core CPI is 0.46. They'll round it to the nearest tenth, say it's 0.5, and that's higher than the 0.4 that the economic calendar shows. So month to month, I think we're going to lose. And I think we're also likely to miss on the yearly numbers. The economic calendar is predicting the CPI will be 6.2%. And when I look at the Cleveland Fed's Nowcasting, which is what you're looking at, is 6.35. They'll round it to the nearest even integer if they're like my math teachers, and that'd be 6.4%. So it's going to be 0.2% higher than what they expect. And then the core CPI, the economic calendar says they're expecting 5.5%. And again, this one is close. It's according to this that you're looking at, the Nowcast, is 5.56%. So you round that to the nearest tenth, and it's 5.6, and that also misses. So we miss on all the monthly numbers and all the yearly numbers. I think the market's going to go down. Plus the fact that the market's been in a bull run and it's sort of pulled back the Friday before this. And so this gives it another excuse to pull back more. So I think I'll probably be shorting the market to some extent. I'm not shorting it on a long-term basis. It's just on a day trading basis if it sets up right. Be sure to smash the like button if any of this has been useful to you. I think we have another event. It seems like every week in this market is so eventful because it's such a kangaroo jumping around market, and you got to take it day by day. And I'm having a hard time settling into investments and sticking with them just because I'm waiting for the market to settle down and follow a trend. I think we're through most of the bearishness. We might have one more to go. That's our nightmare. But we might just slowly go up with it. We'll climb the wall of worry, as they say. And that reminds me so much of the 1980s because that's exactly what happened. Interest rates were high and the market still started to go up with fits and starts. And that's what this is. And so you got to play the fits and starts. And once it establishes a definite upward trend, I'll be in there. But for now, I'm doing it on a daily basis. That's all I have. That's the way I roll. Thanks for listening and watching, and good luck to us all. Thank you.